What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Investing Bros Live Show, and we've got a good one for you today. We're going to be talking about altcoins. Not that Bitcoin's left off. There's obviously some Bitcoin news, but we got some altcoin movement, a mini little alt season, if you might. Is this the final one? I don't think so, but it is good to see the alts running, and some of the biggest movers over the last 48 hours or so, Chainlink and AVAX. Why are they pumping, and what does the future hold? We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more, so do not go anywhere. Make sure to smash that like button, and if you enjoy the channel, you got to be subscribed. We are less than 500 subscribers away from 30K, ladies and gentlemen. Our goal before the end of the month. We're going to smash it, but be a part of the first 30K. Why don't you just click that button right there? Before we get into our content, though, we got to roll our intro. Alrighty. T-Shroom, how are you doing today, my friend?
Well, I'm doing better than I deserve, Tim. I really am. It's an exciting time. As I've said yesterday, going to be moving down to South Florida, the Space Coast, which actually I saw the governor of Florida announced a very big check is coming the way of the Space Coast, $5.8 million for some new infrastructure. But
he knew you
how
were
are
going.
you doing today? Exactly.
I'm doing good. I have been a little disoriented this week when it comes to days. I don't know why I feel so much like this is a Friday, and yet it's not. It's only a measly Thursday, which means I have another day tomorrow, and then it'll be the weekend. But thank the Lord, T-Shroom. You know what starts this Saturday for the first time in months?
Daylight savings time?
You are wrong about that. I don't know, actually. Maybe daylight savings time does happen.
I don't think it is.
I don't think so. That's not what I was referring to. I was thinking college football is back this weekend. Now, none of my teams are playing. But college football is college football, and that's obviously a great thing. When we're all said and done, aren't we all here just trading crypto so we can watch more college football, T-Shirt?
That's right. That's right,
yeah.
Tim.
Yes, it's all about the college football.
Especially for our international viewers. I'm sure they can relate to American college football being the center, the core of one's existence.
Exactly. And I knew that they would feel that way. If you guys are a college football fan, drop your favorite team in the chat. Diesel, or Diesel, I don't know how you say that one. Says go Dogs. What kind of dogs? There's lots of dogs out there, but only one team can say go Hokies. And that's Virginia Tech, so go Hokies. All right, let's get in here, T-Shirt. Let's check out what's happening in crypto. Lots of green, very green bubbles. I love it as we continue to push up and away. IMX, Clay, Beam, Floki, Render are looking like my biggest green bubbles here on the daily chart. Coins we're talking about today, though, AVAX, even though it's not the biggest bubble today, yesterday it had a great day. And where's that? Oh, there it is right here. Chainlink. We're going to talk about Chainlink here. We're going to do some TA on it, up 3.7. AVAX up 4.5. We're going to cover some news on those coins as well. But it's good to see a lot of big movers. A couple big losers. FTN down 4.1. Now, Aave is a big loser of the day. But again, this is a coin that had been pumping more recently. T-Shroom, I believe you even looked up some stuff. We might cover a little Aave news as well, even though it's down right now. Same with Helium. But again, these are coins that pumped. They're cooling off because they had bigger pumps earlier this week. But overall, it is great seeing the altcoins continue to go to the upside. Eric Wallen, football is dumb, Tim. All right, listen, Eric Wallen. You can come after Cardano. You can come after a lot of things, but the minute you come after football, you might be losing that blue name. So you better watch it out there, Eric Wallen. Those privileges come with responsibilities, and that is a good name here. Let's go into the charts, T-Shroom. Just kidding, of course. We love Eric Wallen, even though he hates on me daily. It's a new thing for him. It gives him passion to breathe. Air is giving me a hard time. Let's go ahead and look at what Bitcoin is doing. Hovering still above 60K. I put some stuff in our VIP trading group. If you're not in that, go join it. If you're in the VIP trading group, go scroll through. Very active chat, so you do have to scroll. But I put a trade set up today, a longer term one in the charts there for Bitcoin and for Cardano. So if you want to take a look at that, go do it. Let's just observe some things. We're bouncing once again, as I talked about yesterday. this blue line right here, these falling blue lines, a falling channel that we broke out and closed a daily candle above. I told you yesterday, let's close a daily candle above this line. We did that, and sure enough, we have retraced once again to come back and touch that line. Are we turning it into support, or will we lose it? Let's take a look at what Lux Algo is doing at the moment. Now, we rejected on this rising level. This is kind of a rising wedge. I don't think it's going to end up breaking bearish, but traditionally I do. But look at these green lines. This will be a good pattern for potential levels of support and resistance until one of these lines is broken. And I believe it's going to be to the upside, but we're rejecting also on a 4-hour order block in place. So it's going to be very important for Bitcoin's price to break above 61,800, turning this into a bullish breaker block. That will be very, very important. If you go to the 1-hour chart, we came down late last night, kissing the smart trail on the hourly chart extremely beautifully. And you can see right now, this most recent pullback, we are bouncing on it once again. Will these things hold, and will we see a rally come in? Well, we're seeing some positivity on the MACD. We're seeing some positivity on the RSI. And even though we don't quite have that buy signal just yet, because we're waiting for the money flow to go up and that oscillator turn green, we see what looks like a sign the hourly chart might flash a buy signal here in literally the next couple of hours. Might even happen while we're live on this show. Really quickly, a quick break from the planned technical analysis. For anyone who wondered about yesterday, I'm going to be giving a light goal here in about 4 minutes. I'm going to wait till 3:10. I'm going to challenge you guys to a light goal for a leverage trade of the day. But yesterday, despite the fact that I was longer term bullish, I went with a short on Caspa. A lot of you guys have probably wondered, Tim, how did that trade end up playing out? Well, let's take a look here, guys. Turns out I wasn't bearish enough. Look at what the price did. Even though at first I went to a little bit of loss on that trade, it shot down over the next 30, 40 minutes and hit my take profit. So I am 2 for 2 on these spontaneous guest selected trades, leverage trades. So let's see if we'll get a light goal later on in the show. We'll see if we have a third one coming in today. That being said, let's move into, we kind of covered Bitcoin as a whole. Until it breaks above that 61.8, it's not necessarily breaking anything out. Let's start with Chainlink here, T-Shroom. Let's talk about the Chainlink chart. I got to fix my screen, of course, because I was just showing you, I was really zoomed in time period of Caspa. But Chainlink, as I said, breaking out over the last couple of days. We had been telling you that this bottom, more than likely back on August 5th, was the bottom. Over the last 2 days here for Chainlink especially, we've seen the price rally 13%. But what I like seeing is if you come into these lower time frames, let's turn off Lux Algo for a minute. We'll bring it back on here in a second. What I love seeing is that this move was matched with increased volume. This wasn't rejection volume. This was volume confirming the bulls were buying in bulk. Coming back out to these larger time frames, though, how high can we get before we see resistance? Even before I turn on Lux Algo, there is going to be a level right in here around $11.80 to $12. What I'm talking about with that one, if we go to longer time frames, this is an area that we have been monitoring for a while. Historically, it's a great level of support and resistance. More recently, it had been used as support over a lot of the last couple of months. More recently, though, are we going to turn it into resistance, or can we break all the way through it? Above that level, we are looking back up towards 1320, where once again, we're wrestling with another level of support and resistance. As a whole, though, we spent a little bit of time below it. We respected this level of former support, turning resistance temporarily, but this is still a falling wedge pattern, and I still believe this could have a major breakout with if you take the opening of this formation, move it over to the last touch of support, which is going to be right in here. This could bring a longer time prediction or movement for Chainlink to pop up back towards $20. That's just traditional TA. Let's take a look at what Lux Algo is saying on some of these longer time frames. Let's go to the daily chart here and see what we're looking at. So right now, even though these levels I put below it and above it, there is a major level of resistance, kind of two things standing out right here on the chart. The first one, let me turn off one of these, is going to be the daily smart trail. It kind of peaks out right here at 1261. Can we break back above this? Beating that daily smart trail, we have not been bullish on this since all the way back in June, and even that was a very short-lived bullish period. It will be a very positive thing to break back above that level right there at 1260. 1264, give or take. But then I throw on the order blocks as well, and you can see we got a bearish breaker block, this pink block right here. So look for a lot of resistance when we hit that $12.60 area. More than likely, there will be some take profits. There will be some short pressures. We're going to need to see that volume continue to increase to push through and regain control for the bulls. After that's said and done, though, like I said, you still got to wrestle with this resistance level. Once we break above 1350, though, that is when we're talking about a resurgence back up towards $20, where there is a nice looking order block on that daily chart. As far as the oscillators are concerned, I'm liking what I'm seeing right here. MACD crossed bullish not that long ago on that almost perfect bottom call, but just a couple days later. It actually did it on August 15th. The RSI is crossing back above the 50 for the first time since way back here on July 23rd. And of course, right here, we had our bull signal, a nice buy signal back here on August 8th. We're confirming further momentum with that money flow going positive and a lot of momentum with our oscillator. So that continues to be extremely bullish for Chainlink. Those are the targets that I'm watching for. Again, might not even be a bad trade setup. Let's see real quickly. Not that I'm going to set one up for you guys, but we might see a small pullback a little bit. I think a 1 hour smart trail of $11 could be touched, but I'm looking at that daily chart, and I think a trade opportunity to trade along up to about 1250 could be a nice little opportunity. 1250, 1260 could be an opportunity for Link traders. Now, T-shirt, we got 450 people in here. We're about 11 minutes into the show. That number's going to grow. I think we're going to reach the levels of like 600 or so. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to stretch you guys a little bit. Currently, with 450 people watching, we have a grand total already of 117 likes. I believe that 400 likes is doable. If you want to see another leverage trade at the end of the show, just like yesterday's Caspa trade, you got to smash that like button. Let's get 400 before 4 o'clock, and we will do it. Let's go in here, T-shirt. Let's check out AVAX. I talked about Link there for a while, and Link's had some good levels, but let's take a look at what we got going on here with AVAX. Let me turn off Lux Auto, kind of get rid of some noise. Yesterday, I discussed the significance of getting above 2330. Now, that was a significant level of support. If we could reconquer it, not turn it into resistance, that would be big. Well, today we are answering that bell, but take a look at AVAX over the last, how many days is this? Since back on the 16th, and if today is the 22nd, we're talking about 6 days. Well, that should be more than 6 days. 7 days. It's been like a full week here. Anyway, AVAX has rallied as high as 27% over the last week. It is definitely making a big splash here in its own falling wedge channel of its own. Again, over the last 24 hours, we've showed you guys on the charts. We saw Cardano, we saw Matic, we saw ICP, we just saw Chainlink, and even AVAX has been dealing with a falling wedge pattern. What does this breakout potential look like? This could send long-term AVAX back up here towards $38 to $40. Keep an eye on that long term. But I love seeing the momentum come in. And once again, while it doesn't look very impressive necessarily on the daily chart, you come down to lower time frames such as the hourly, and you do see high volume. Well, it's just that one candle really that's getting that high volume, and it's kind of a little bit of a rejection candle. So I'm going to kind of have to retrace some things that I'm saying. I love that one candle, the volume that came in. It was a lot of buying. And the reason I know there was a lot of buying is because this isn't a candle with a massive high wick and a small candle body. It's a big candle body with a big wick. However, some of it at the end of it was absolutely take profit or sell orders. What I want to see as we start to push higher here, I want to see the volume coming in demanding that the bulls are back in power. Now, there's some news that we're going to cover here in a couple of minutes that explains why AVAX is pumping. But on the charts, I want to see more volume come in to confirm this bullish rally. Now, what we're wrestling with right now, remember I said on Chainlink, there was a breaker block and there was a daily smart trail that was in the way. Well, sure enough, we got the same thing kind of popping up here. We're at the bottom end of the daily smart trail, high end coming in back towards $27. And we also in that same area have this bearish breaker block. So we need to break above 27 to regain that bullishness. As you can see, breaking that would probably also in the next couple of days having us break this longer term falling wedge resistance. That would be a great long opportunity for AVAX. Once again, we talked about it going back up towards $38 to $40. What kind of a move would that be if you did enter? Let's say you bought here on 27. That is looking like a nice 41% move. If you throw a 5X on that bad boy, It's a pretty good trade right there if you guys are looking at it. If you want to know more about that, though, and you want to see the right kind of trigger, be in our group. Listen, I'm telling you, anyone who's not in our VIP trading group who likes trading, I don't know. Or if you've been on the verge and saying, man, I wish I could trade, guess what? That group has experienced people, intermediate people, and brand new people. We are one big group. We're constantly putting our thoughts and our trade setups in there. You are missing out if you're not a part of it. Check out links down below to join the membership to be in there. But AVAX as a whole, it's looking very, very good. Covered this the other day, but I want to remind you guys, we are under a daily buy signal that I really love. This is a powerful signal as well. Not only were we getting green reversals, the bullish momentums, and the positive money flow, but we had that fat stack of excessive sellers that left. So if anyone's wondering, man, what are the charts saying about this big move on AVAX? Well, all that suppression and that pressure from the bears to bring the price back down, that pressure is gone. And just like I always tell you guys, if you hold a basketball underwater, as long as your hands are on top of it, the ball stays there. But as soon as you release that ball, it doesn't just come back to the surface. It shoots up out of the water. And a lot of times with the charts, that's the same thing we can see with indicators just like that. T-Shroom, let's choose one more coin. I don't know if you see anything in chat that you want to cover, or if you have a personal inquiry. Let's do one more coin for the opening technical analysis, and then we'll jump into the stories. What do you want to do, my friend?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, there's one that stands out for sure, and that is going to be Ikob Doro said Maneki, and he has chanted this multiple times.
Okay.
Are you interested in looking at Maneki? I believe it's a meme coin, but there's not a lot of other suggestions. Arrow just popped up, Aerodrome. The layer 2 decks for base, Phantom PNG, Jasmy. Jasmy got doubled.
I see a couple Jasmys. I see a couple people saying Jasmy. Let's look at Jasmy. If we have time at the end of the show, we'll look at a bunch of others as well. But I'm interested in Jasmy. I hold Jasmy. I like Jasmy. Not getting the same pump that we have with the other coins necessarily. Now, it's still positive, and this is still a coin that I believe the big fall we had back on August 5th, I do believe it was the bottom for Jasmy. But let's take a look here at what we have going on. We hit the take profit. We've been kind of hovering at the daily take profit. There wasn't necessarily an order block or a smart trail in this area. We do have a nice smart trail and bearish breaker block kind of meeting up here around 2.6 cents. So that's something to keep an eye on here. We're not quite... Ooh, it's so close here on the buy signal. We got the bullish divergence, green reversal, bullish momentum. That money flow and the excessive sellers almost gone. When those things go and show us the positivity confirmed, that is going to be a buy signal for Jasmy. So looking very dangerously close to popping. I bet you the 4-hour was kind of showing us some nice bullish action here earlier. It's not necessarily a buy signal, but yeah, we're seeing the RSI look more overwhelmingly like it wants to go to the upside. What about the MACD here? MACD's been very boring, very sideways, but overwhelmingly setting some new highs there. It's not bearish divergence, so you love to see that. What about the 1-hour chart here? Ooh, got some, even though we hit our take profit, we're setting up a bullish breaker block. We could still drop back down to the smart trail here around 2 cents. 2.065 cents, but I'm looking at these time frames. I'm more bullish than I am bearish here for Jasmy. So if you want to be a little patient and wait for a small correction, that's possibly in play there. But I like this longer time frame saying that we were really bottomed out here weeks ago when we hit this August 5th dip. We had a nice opportunity again here on August 17th. I'd be very surprised if we lose this wick here around 1.9 cents for Jasmy. I'm liking what I'm seeing there. Any other thing I want to kind of address before I leave this, though? Let's look here. Get rid of some of these lines because these did not play out whatsoever. I'm trying to remember. It's been a minute since we did charts here because I don't even remember what that was for. This is going to be a level of resistance right in here. I can tell you that for sure. Resistance back here, support. Would not be surprised to see this zone back up around 2.6 as the resistance level. So even when you're entering along, look for potential trading, take profits right in that area. Just in case you're looking at the potential of that trade, we're looking at a 21% trade. So you throw, again, a 5 to 10x on that trade, put in a very safe stop loss. Make sure you're conservative with it, but there's definitely potential opportunity for a long and making money on Jasmy coin. When it breaks above this level, when we start to see, back above 2.7 cents or so, Jasmy could get very interesting very fast once again, but that's what we're working with on the charts at the moment. T-Shroom, It's 319. I still, even with a little extra bonus coin, finished a minute early. It is time, while everybody smashes that like button, where are we at? I'm going to challenge you to 400 likes. We're halfway there, 205. T-Shroom, why don't you go ahead and dive into the details? Let's start off with AVAX. Why is AVAX rallying today?
It was a double whammy for AVAX today, Tim. We're going to get into the details here from Investing Bros Twitter. Breaking: AVAX surged on news of Grayscale launching an AVAX Trust. This information broke today. The fund is the fourth single-asset crypto ETP from Grayscale this month, offering a vehicle for accredited investors to invest in the AVAX token. And then a little bit of opinion here. You don't have enough AVAX, bro. So this is coming at a time where there's another headline we're going to get to in just a second. But Grayscale launching what could be understood as an ETF. It's definitely not a spot ETF, but it's not even really an ETF. It's a trust, which is a slightly different financial vehicle that investment grade money is going to be able to buy. And that sent AVAX quite a bit higher, into double digits of gains, settling back down. But another thing that was sending AVAX higher today, Tim, was this. From the AVAX Twitter account, global investment firm with 1.6 trillion assets under management expands its L1 blockchain footprint to AVAX, to Avalanche. This is from Franklin Templeton. The Franklin Templeton On-Chain U.S. Government Money Fund, that's a very long name for FOBXX, is the first and only U.S. registered mutual fund to leverage a public blockchain, AVAX, as the system of record to process transactions and record share ownership. You'll have to really use your thinker to go back and remember when BlackRock was announcing the tokenization partners it was going to use. The rumors around that caused a couple of different assets to pump higher. That we're seeing the same thing here, except it's not the BlackRock effect, right? Which is the top of the heap when it comes to Wall Street powerhouses, right? But it is Franklin Templeton, which is a pretty big name after all. They have 1.6 trillion AUM. So Tim, there's a double whammy today with AVAX getting a headline in association with Franklin Templeton, and of course this one here with AVAX getting associated with Grayscale, and a new trust is coming forward. Do you have enough AVAX? Are you feeling bullish enough? How should the market be interpreting this information?
Yeah, no, even though I didn't know this was going to happen until the news is too late. I mean, a lot of times when you hear about the news, a lot of times the pump has already happened. But I'd been loading up on AVAX because I was just bullish on the fundamentals long term. Let's discuss real quickly. The Grayscale thing is big. And that's the same thing that pumped both Sui and Tia last week. So that was big news for them. But especially with the Franklin Templeton news and the adoption it has, it's great news, but no one should be surprised because AVAX right now is the number one ranked in terms of market cap coin in the real world asset space. It currently has a greater market cap than Chainlink. Now, I think that's going to change over the period of the next year. I believe Chainlink is going to be a coin rivaling to jump into the top 5, where AVAX, I think, is a top 10 project, but I don't think it's getting in the top 5. Either way, it's still one of the main coins that institutions are going to look to partner with and invest in for moving forward. So hopefully you weren't waiting for some sort of news to buy AVAX. You saw the writing on the wall and the potential that the project has, and you were already loading your bags up at those amazing dips. But it is great to hear this news. It's good to go look at my AVAX portfolio this morning and see that it is up. It is doing very, very well, and understanding why is always a positive thing as well. It's not too late to get in on AVAX, but it really is something I would tell everyone. If you're looking, based off the technicals we just did, if you're looking for a trade, a short-term investment, you're going to probably, in the chasing the FOMO type of move, be sorely disappointed. I highly advise you either waiting for a pullback for a trade opportunity or buying now, because you're not looking to take profit on AVAX in the next week or 2 or 4. You're looking to hold this sucker for at least 6 to 8 months, if not a whole year, when the bull market is probably reaching some form of a top. You will not be disappointed about your AVAX returns. This coin's got a very bright future ahead of it.
Yeah, I think AVAX is one of the most slept on coins. I really do. Yeah. And why is that? I think it's because Wall Street is mega bullish on it. Tim, you said this is not a bad time to pick up AVAX, and I couldn't agree anymore. Looking at the monthly chart, you can see that AVAX had a really nice pump off of the bear market lows, 700% from October. Man, and it retraced, right? That's because, the markets get too euphoric. It was too early in the altcoin cycle. It was not anywhere near altcoin season, as we now know. It was too early to pump that high. However, that was a bit of a tell from the market about how bullish Wall Street is, how bullish VCs and generally crypto whales are on this coin. And it's because of everything we just talked about. There big funds like Franklin Templeton and Grayscale love this coin. It is a darling of Wall Street, and I don't think that's changing anytime soon. One thing I'll point out, too, while we're here on the monthly chart is what is it testing? It's testing that midline of the Bollinger Band, and it has spent some time wicking down below, getting as low there as $17.44. But it's looking like it could close August above the midline of the Bollinger Band there on the monthly chart. That would be bullish. If you weren't bullish enough on AVAX after this bit here on the Investing Bros and our analysis of it, you should be just from that monthly chart. Tim, I've got about as much AVAX as I can possibly stuff into my wallets. And I don't know that I'll add any more here just because I am almost overexposed on AVAX. It's one that I feel a lot of folks have slept on, but I'm not one of them.
Yeah, very, very good. Again, it is one of those things that we've been telling you for a while that AVAX was gonna be special. These deals are not surprising whatsoever. While they're new, we knew that information like this was going to come out. We knew that they'd be partnering with companies such as Franklin Templeton and others. It's not going to be the last one you hear about, but it's something you don't want to wait for future adoption. You want to go ahead and buy in now before those stories break and the profits start rumbling in. But let's keep moving on here, T-Shroom. Glad to cover some AVAX. Like you said, people sleep on that coin. So, We've been telling people from a chart perspective to watch out for it, but it's good to see some positive news as well.
That's right. Well, we're going to keep it in the altcoins because Aave V3 is debuting on Era mainnet, powered by Z-Sync, unlocking unprecedented scalability, privacy, and security while expanding the DeFi user base. It's a bit of crypto word salad there, but it could actually convert into real alpha. Another headline here with a little bit more of a punch to it, DeFi rises again as Aave hits new all-time high in weekly borrowers. That's a lot more punchy, a lot more for investors to bite into there. That isn't something you can fake. So that's exciting for Aave. It has had quite a bull run here over the last couple of hours. I think it did 47% or something like that. It's leveled out now, but it has absolutely gotten the attention of investors. And I don't see that changing through the rest of the bull market. I think this is a name you don't want to ignore. It's been around in the DeFi space for a long time. And now with Aave V3, it's just going to convince investors to continue to pay attention to it. So that's Aave. Any thoughts on Aave? I know it's not one that we talk about a lot, but it's a coin that's stuck around.
Not a lot, but like you mentioned, it's up pretty significantly. Since the 12th of August, it is up 58%. And then you take a look at recent highs from this year and this bull run so far. Aave didn't have necessarily the most impressive bull run since the bottom back in here in June of 2023. It was only up 220%, but you can see right now we're rivaling back to those levels. We are currently only down from that 2024 high, this bull run high so far. We're only down 11%. So making some moves very aggressively, outdoing what it did even earlier this year is not something to ignore. We created a daily bullish breaker block in play right here. Let's see if that can hold. It's not necessarily the strongest bullish order block I've ever seen. While we do have a big red bar with a lot of bearish exhaustion, that's a bigger green bar, which means bulls, we might be a little overextended. We hit the more aggressive side of our take profit on a buy order from Luxalgo. This is one I could see cooling off. Let's just talk about the 4-hour chart here. 124, 127 that zone right in there looks like a good level for potential pullback. I'm going to imagine, even before I looked at the oscillator, I was like, I would imagine we're overextended, potentially putting in a sell order. That's exactly what we did right here, pretty much at the top, that red reversal, some bearish divergence to boot, but bearish momentum and the negative money flow from Lux Algo. The excessive buyers left as well. So not going to be surprised to see a good little pullback somewhere between 127, 124. Let's see if we can regain some legs on this upward trajectory. But Aave, one, do not be sleeping on it. The fact that it's back already to rivaling close to new highs on the year, that's a very big positive play. That's something that shows you legitimacy in this move for the coin Aave.
Yep. I, just full disclosure, don't have any Aave.
I don't either.
Yeah, my DeFi play is more compound. I don't know that I'm going to hold on to that because they had, their website got hacked a couple weeks ago. So I'm looking to probably get rid of my compound as well. Maybe swapping into Aave.
You know, I'd put Aave in this camp. If you ever, all pro bros and members, they get one-on-ones with us for portfolios, either myself, T-Shroom, or Crux. And if I was sitting in that one-on-one and someone said, I have X amount of Aave would go into my camp of suggesting, saying, I don't personally hold it. I'm trying to actually consolidate, not hold 147 coins. But it would fall into my world of saying, you know what? While I don't hold it, I'm not mad at anyone else who does. So when I'm listening to this video saying, well, T-Shroom and Tim don't own Aave, does that mean I should sell all of mine? Don't think of it that way. If you have a lot of coins and you're looking to consolidate, maybe there's a chance it moves into the camp of it just doesn't make your top 15 or your top 10 or anything. But if you hold it, I think that anyone holding Aave is not a crazy person for expecting positive results on the coin. I'm not mad at you. I don't think you're foolish. It didn't crack into my top group. I have some other holds that I'm still working with. Nathan Duong, I think he gave a super chat yesterday as well. Now, you didn't say anything, Nathan, so I would love to hear from you, but thank you so much for the super chat, for the $10. Didn't even get one of those pear emojis from him this time, though, T-Shroom.
Yeah,
I always love reading those.
I want to say Nathan donated a different currency yesterday, too, than dollars. So, interesting.
Listen, he's out here. He's just moving. He's working in all the currencies.
Is out here, absolutely. And Wall Street is out here, too. We're going to keep it in altcoins, but we're going to go to CNBC.com. Check this out here. This was on their front page right now. Crypto asset managers look past the next big coin to diversified portfolios. Now, I've got a take on this. Might be a little bit cynical, but let's get through some of the details here as we kind of expand our altcoin section. As we think about how to educate investors about this broader ecosystem, it's not individual token by token, but rather how do we think about portfolio construction? And from there, how do we create exposures representing different sectors within the growing ecosystem? That from asset manager at Fidelity Investments. There's an opportunity for us to be able to add value beyond just individual access to just some of the largest crypto tokens. The article goes on to kind of have a similar posit here. Active management becomes part of the conversation, and your differentiation isn't on fees or total cost of ownership. It's now on what strategies you are creating, what alpha are you generating, and that's that. When we know we've actually achieved something in terms of it becoming an asset class. Kurt said, you really haven't had a true asset management industry in crypto. It's been a cottage industry until the Bitcoin ETF happened. So keeping it very vague there. What I took away from that was that if you were a retail investor, you should be too scared to invest in crypto, but you should invest in crypto through us, through Fidelity, right? Which makes sense because they're going to collect fees for managing crypto. This is the sales pitch that's as old as time in Wall Street, right? Goes back to the beginning of Wall Street is like, hey, you need to buy stocks, you need to invest, but you don't know how to do it because you're too dumb. Let us do it, and we'll collect a fee. Tim, do you have a similar take on that, or you got a different takeaway from what's trending right now in Wall Street?
Listen, it doesn't really matter what my take is. It sounds like your pups have a little take on the issue.
Tim. You know, we do like to sprinkle in a little bit of humor here on the Investing Bros with our alpha. We absolutely love it.
I think the reason I don't have a lot to add on, because I agree with everything you said. I think that you wrapped it up pretty nicely with that point. I think to save us time and keep moving on, we'll go ahead and transition next story.
Well, Tim, that's going to take us to our political section. Ooh, I hear the wincing. I hear the groaning. Yeah. Folks, we are in an election cycle here, not just in the United States, but across the world. There's elections happening. Let's take a look and take a listen to this comment here.
You hear that. Do you potentially think that this new numbers could be a liability for this campaign?
No. When I hear that, first of all, I don't believe it because I've never heard Donald Trump say anything truthful.
It is, though, from the Bureau of Labor.
I'm not familiar with that.
Ooh, Tim, this is not good. This is not good. This is in reference to the 181,000 jobs.
No, 818,000.
Right, something around. Yeah, you're right.
You're dyslexic with the numbers there.
But it's not dyslexic being easy. That's right.
Yeah.
818,000 jobs that were revised down yesterday. That news coming out of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. This woman here is Gina Raimondo, and she is the Secretary of Commerce for these United States. She works for the Biden administration, and she has a very high-ranking position in his cabinet. And she did not even know that data had been released. Tim, how bad of a look is this for Gina? How bad of a look is this for the United States?
T-Shroom, you're thinking about this all wrong. This lady is brilliant. She just gave every single person a textbook response to when data is presented to you that you do not like. You can simply say you're not aware of its existence and it doesn't exist in your world, T-Shroom. Do you not see the endless possibilities of what we can use this expression for?
Oh, that's good. That's good. I actually don't really understand what you're saying there, Tim. I'm going to have to...
Anytime data doesn't support our reasoning, we can just say we're not familiar with it.
Right.
And it goes away, you know?
Right. And man, if only...
It's great. It's a great strategy.
It's only
a great strategy.
You could make money in the market with that mentality. You can make a great bureaucrat. You can make a great politician, but you will get absolutely wiped on the floor if you have that mindset as a trader.
Yeah, it's funny though. Like going on a more serious side, it is kind of ironic, and I'm not going to say. I want to make sure people understand. I'm not going to say that Donald Trump has never lied in his life. In fact, I think there's a couple of things anyone, even a Trump supporter, could look at and say, yeah, that might have been a little stretching of the truth. But I will say the Democrats, it is their go-to defense for anything to simply say Donald Trump lied. And what's funny is she didn't even hear the question. It wasn't an accusation from Donald Trump. It was simply statistics done by the Bureau of Labor, and she just attributed all of it to a lie from Donald Trump. Now I'll say this again: I'd like to see a lot more evidence of all the things they claim are lies. That's their strategy. Is just if Donald Trump says it automatically is a lie. Not necessarily the case. He said the truth about a lot of different things, and I think that is where this looks really bad here, T-Shroom, is this kind of goes into credit of any Democrats who are critically watching this, trying to find a good reason to stick with their party. They just got exposed. The Democrats got exposed for not even knowing true details. They call things lies before they even check the facts themselves. That's not a good look whatsoever. Now, to be fair, I want to make sure we're fair on this. I see both political parties doing this from time to time. Of course, everyone wants to swing and make everything look good for their party. That's why I do dream of a day where we have potentially a third option that the people can actually identify with, that, you know, every politician lies, but maybe brings the lying to a minimum, and we have more transparency here. We have a super chat here from Bluff City Breaks. I think it's a request for coin maybe later. Can you look at Moonwell, which is backed by Coinbase Ventures, hasn't listed on Coinbase yet, $30 million market cap. So it's a small cap. We might go take a look at that, Bluff City. T-Shroom, I will make a note of that. I'm going to write it down here. I'm going to save it in a notepad, but we'll continue on with the show. Let's go into, unless you have more to talk about this video. I
did. I have a little bit more to expand on that. A couple of more points. This woman here is the Secretary of the Labor Department. So yes, there's an entire federal department under the executive branch that is dedicated to labor. And if you scroll through her Twitter page, there is zero commentary on this. She's talking about something with the Navajo Nation, which definitely deserves attention. Something about, the Biden-Harris administration working to improve lives. It's a very vague posting here, but nothing about the absolute washout of 818,000 payroll revision. Nothing from the Secretary of Labor You think that the Bureau of Labor Statistics and maybe the Secretary of Labor might have a little bit of communication that might inspire some sort of comfort to bring to the American people that the labor market is going to be okay? But no, that's not what we get. In fact, it seems as though there's an all-out cover-up going on here. Fox Business put out some information here that only 20 seconds of the revision numbers was covered by these major media outlets. ABC News being the most generous with 20 seconds, NBC 0, and CBS 0 minutes. In fact, if you didn't have the X app, you may not even have known about this insane revision that came from the Bureau of Labor Statistics yesterday. I think that the market is going to get quite an earful tomorrow from Jerome Powell, which is a nice transition into our preview of tomorrow's Jackson Hole event in Wyoming.
Well, I want to make sure we clarify here. And I have been, I'm not going to say I'm the largest supporter of Jerome Powell, but I've been a little bit of a defender of him. I'm not as negative about him as I've seen other people be. But I will say this, if he ignores that piece of information and does not address it, that would be an extremely bad look for him and for the Fed, and the Fed already has a lot of bad looks on them. I'm very hopeful that tomorrow morning we will be going live at 9 a.m. to cover it. I'm very hopeful that he will address those details. Now, I don't want to see him freak out about it. I want to see a calm and collected Jerome Powell. I want to see him potentially even let's just talk about this, guys. Do you want to see Bitcoin and your crypto go up? You don't want to see him address this and lose his head about it. You want to see a man that seems like he has a plan, and that 25 basis points in September will do the trick. We're going to be okay, because if he addresses it as if it's a major problem and pumps fear into the markets, we will see crashes happening. Now, could crypto rebound later on? Yes, it could. But I'm telling you, if we see fear from the Fed and talk of potentially 50 basis point cut, those are the types of moves historically that would align with a stock market crash. If we hear confidence, if we hear potential still positivity about a soft landing and that it's time to start cutting rates with a simple 25 basis points, that's going to be bullish for crypto, for the stock market. And so we have to wait here for, I don't know, is this going to be, we're looking at like 17 hours, give or take, and we'll have our information from Jerome Powell tomorrow morning.
Yeah. And by the way, bros, if you're just tuning into investing for the first time, you just found the Investing Bros, we hold strongly to the position that these rate cuts are going to be bullish. There's historical precedent that there's a strong correlation between recessions and rate cuts. We acknowledge that. We're not denying the correlation. However, right now, there is no reason for me to believe that the markets are going to sell off because of a rate cut, especially a 25 basis point cut. I think a 50 basis point cut is a little bit of a psychological blow to the confidence of the markets. But I think even that, you buy the bottom of that correction, of that reaction to a 50 basis point hike. Because as Tim just said so eloquently, that does permeate fear through the market, which is no bueno. That's going to make prices go lower on the equities and the crypto side. But I'm buying those bottoms for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I see in chat here, T-shirt. Some people are saying they want to hear him be bearish and they want to hear him freak out a little bit so he crashes.
Sure.
And you can buy him. And again, that's the personality you need to have. That's the attitude about crashes. It's one of those things. The right attitude is hopefully you've been stacking your sats already. And if markets go up, great, because that means your portfolio went up. And if markets go down, great, because you're going to just go and buy some more one way or another. Even though I believe the bottom is in, I want to make sure people understand I am not completely out of cash. I still have dry powder on the sideline for the just in case. That money will be deployed into crypto either because of a large crash or because the signs of confirmation come in that the bottom absolutely 100% is in. And I might have to be buying in Bitcoin and other prices at all-time highs. And I'm completely okay with that because I have a lot of supply already. Always have some cash on the side for major moves you're not prepared for. That is the solid advice that some of you guys need to hear today. But T-shirt, let's keep going on here. What else we have in the way of news?
Tim, that is going to wrap us up in terms of news. That was our little mini preview. We're going to have Big Caleb Franzen on, not for the 9 a.m. stream. It's going to be too early for him. He's over there in California, IA. But he will be joining us for the 3 p.m. stream, Lord willing and the creek don't rise. The last bit of information here is that the betting odds from Polymarket on the United States electoral outcome is unchanged from yesterday, with Trump just a few points ahead there, 5 points ahead of Kamala. We shall see. Still plenty of time on the clock for things to change.
Oh, absolutely.
To be even more bullish for the man behind the orange coin, or perhaps for him to fall behind. We shall see. But in any case, we've got a factoid of the day today, Tim, and it's brought to you all by LuxAlgo, the best trading indicator on the market. Tim, what is Dave Ramsey's alma mater? Is it A, Memphis Theological Seminary, B, University of Tennessee, C, Texas A&M, or Tim, is it D, the Harvard of the South, Vanderbilt University? What you got, Tim?
I'm going to be very honest with you. I actually have no idea.
Okay.
The good news is we've already gotten 3 of these right, so we're going to be doing a giveaway tomorrow since they're not a Saturday show this week with moving and everything else. Mark Ryan says Tennessee. I'm going to give this a second to see if chat wants to come in. For some reason, Texas A&M stuck out to me, but I don't see a lot of people chiming in whatsoever on this answer. So that's encouraging. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen him with a sports memorabilia thing in the backdrop. I don't know.
Dealey Crypto said, is T-Shroom related to Dave Ramsey? The only answer I have for that is that I am better than I deserve.
I don't know how that answers the question, but Tennessee. I guess you wouldn't give me any clues. Did he is his show when he was doing his show, is his show in Texas or Tennessee? That probably would tell us a lot, but I don't know the answer to that one. I was thinking Texas.
Come on, Tim.
But I see enough people saying Tennessee and B that I'm going to go with the crowd here. I'm going to say Tennessee, University of Tennessee. B is my final answer. All right. Hey, chat. Good job. If you guys had not helped, I would have gone with C and said Texas A&M. He seems like a Texas A&M type of guy, doesn't he?
I don't know what that means, Tim, but there he is.
You know what? When you don't know things, T-Shroom, you could just back me up and say, yeah, Tim, that seems like a completely valid statement. But no, you chose a different route, and that's okay. I'm going to get over it.
Now, I've got an extra little bonus for you all here. I am on the official Dave Ramsey Wikipedia site here. And one thing that Wikipedia has added is a light and dark mode to, some of you just went blind, a light and dark mode for Wikipedia and their user interface, which is really quite an awesome feature, I think.
Good question. How many people use Wikipedia other than this factoid elf with things like ChatGPT anymore? I feel like that was a real big blow to Wikipedia when ChatGPT did that thing.
Well, I disagree, because Wikipedia is more important than ever, because where does ChatGPT scrape a lot of the information that it computes off of? Reddit, and also Wikipedia.
Maybe. But my point, though, would be, even if they're scraping it off of Wikipedia, there's less site visits because of ChatGPT.
I don't know how that works. It could be that the
any good
OpenAI
college
server
student knows. Everyone who went through college fell in love with Wikipedia, but now that you have ChatGPT, what even is the point?
What's the point of an archive? Look, OpenAI's servers and AI servers are still pinging Wikipedia to gather that information. I suppose there's a possibility that they just downloaded Wikipedia and it's sitting on a server that's connected to OpenAI. I don't know. Yeah. Let us know. Do you in the chat have any kind of insights on this? Tim is desperate to know, are people still going to his favorite website, Wikipedia?
I don't know if desperate's the right term. I'm just interested. Quick update on likes, everybody. We are at 319 of them. We got to get to 400 if you want to see a first trade at the end of the show. But the good news is we have gotten through all of the news, all of the planned technical analysis. It is still 3:48, which means we have 12 minutes for those likes to get to 400. We also have 12 minutes to jump into some Q&A. A lot of times we only have like 4 or 5 minutes left in the show when we get here. I'm excited. Let's engage with chat here a little bit. Matt C said, when I was in college, I had to use an encyclopedia hardback. Yeah, I'm surprised. Did they have fire back then, Matt? What were you reading by? Let's see here. When I've fallen 8 minutes behind and think my chances to catch back up to live are gone for today. B-Ball Golf, put that bad boy on 2X and you can do it. Is mathematically, could he? No, mathematically, even if he puts on 2x and he's 8 minutes behind, he's not going to catch up on time. You're right. It's gone. You're gone. The chances of you catching back up are done, and you're probably not even reading this chat till the end, so it's kind of awkward. Tim, why are the Hokies one of 3 teams? No. Why is the Hokies one of 3 teams never to win the Natty out of the Power 5?
Oof.
All right, we're just bringing up things to be hurtful. All right, username, don't buy Chainlink today. How about that? How you feel now after I hurt your feelings there a little bit? Listen, the Hokies might have never won a national championship, and to be honest with you, the way college football works, they might never win a national championship, but that is something to say that they are talked about as one of the greatest teams in college football to never win a national championship. So that is there. Matt says, my cave was a 20-mile walk to the watering hole. Okay. Let's see here. There's some coins people are definitely talking about. Some people want to take a look at Kaz. We took a look at Kaz yesterday. I'm going to give Kaz a break. I know some people want to look at it. Maybe we'll look at it again tomorrow if you guys come back in. What about, okay, so I think it's the same person asking this, but IOU SDT. So IOU SDT. Have you ever looked at that before?
IEO USDT?
IO USDT. What is it? I don't even know what it is.
Sounds like a small cap.
Whatever it is, it had this massive candle in its creation not that long ago back in June. Here's what I'm saying. We're not going to spend a lot of time here because TAA is not going to be the most useful here. When you have a coin this brand new, there's just only so much you can do with it. You have a trend line right there. You could maybe make an argument of a channel that's going to break out of. I could take a look at you where we have order blocks up here and a smart trail. So I'll say short-term bullish, but this is just, it's so hard to do TA on a coin like this. It does look like for the minimal things we can take a look at, it looks positive. Do with that information what you will. Cannot break really that much into any more details there, but hopefully that helped you. Let's see what we have. Oh my gosh, will Tech make the playoffs this year? Yes, we'll make the playoffs. Delete crypto. We might win the ACC. People are sleeping on the Hokies, and we're a very talented roster.
Yeah,
we returned the most experience from last year back, and then we added some really good pieces as well. So go Hokies. We'll watch them this year. Let's see. I see a lot of people asking for, well, I see a lot of people. I don't know if it's the same person necessarily. It is the same person. Arc block. If someone else wants to look at arc block, let's get 2 people saying it as well. Aerodrome, there is a decent amount of people asking for Aerodrome. So that is one that will qualify as a good selection. It's been a little minute since we did technical analysis on Aerodrome. I think a couple of weeks here, but we will look at it here again. Daily chart, Smart Trail has been hit, been riding that Smart Trail. So as long as we stay above it, the last time I did TA, I don't know how long ago we did it is a good point, but I put this box on here, and I know I put it there saying, look for a pullback in the zone. Look at that, guys. We have kissed that just perfectly. We're looking very dangerously close to a buy signal. Green reversals have been in play. Green momentum has been in play. We just need to see the money flow go back positive. So let's give it some time on that one. That being said, what are the 4-hour charts doing? 4 hours been positive here on money flow for a while, bouncing on its own smart trail. Wow. So a lot of support. The 4-hour and the daily smart trail, which is a moving average, it's the most important moving average you should be paying attention to on that time frame. They both have been in this same area, so that's very, very positive. Look at how boring the RSI is, though. I mean, the fact that the RSI has not broken above the 59 or below the 36 since all the way back here in this is, I guess, the 4-hour chart, but since August 5th. It just shows you that's not a very active, it's not a very explosive move whatsoever. Very small volatility, very small volume. So to feel confident about Aerodrome in either direction, you're going to want to see volume uptick. Now, there's been some movements on the hourly chart, but let's see some liveliness on the 4-hour. We haven't seen liveliness in terms of volume since this right here, August 5th, that big wick on the daily chart. Let's take a look there. Haven't seen really anything crazy since back here, August 5th a little bit, and then a little bit back here on July 5th, those 2 big dumps. As a whole, not a lot of volume going in there. So I'm not saying I'm bearish on it. I'm saying to get more positivity. We're on the support level, but we're not going to do anything special until volume starts to creep back in. You can even see here when you look at the daily chart. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. So that yellow line, that dictates the average volume coming in. Even during this rally, we had the big peak, but that yellow line increased. It's still decreasing right now. Don't expect any big moves to the upside until that volume wants to increase as well. That's what I will say about Aerodrome. Hopefully that has helped you guys. If you're bullish on it, I don't think you're going to get that much better of a deal than you do right now. I see a lot of people asking for Ondo. Let's take a look at what the Ondo chart is doing, T-Shroom.
Tell me Ondo.
There we go. You heard it here first. T-Shroom's he's not only the top of his class in economics in college, he is an Ondo singer, it sounds like. We're getting some rebound here over the last 2 days. Ondo with a nice little 7% move over the last 2 daily candles. I told you guys that this area here on 66 to 65 cents, which we didn't quite get to 60. Well, we did. We went to 65. I've been saying 66, 65 here for a minute. That bounce is looking like it is in play once again. It's on that longer-term support level of a falling channel. So this is one of the reasons why I felt very bullish about it. With resistance still sitting up here closer towards 90 cents in play. Let's take a look at our oscillators. Buy signal back in here. That was okay, but it definitely didn't go where we thought it would. I thought it would have made a move back up to resistance at the least. It did not. Once again, though, we're in the zone to get another buy signal in play. Not the greatest one because we're not going to have a reversal, but with that bullish momentum and the money flow looking like it's about to turn back positive, that's a good sign for Ondo. Lower time frames, let's see what we got. We just broke today. We broke above the 4-hour bearish smart trail. Let me zoom in for you guys. That's a positive sign. Could we pull back down to these lows again at 67? Absolutely. And we're just coming back to the bullish smart trail. So let's take a look here. Yeah, we're a little overextended. It looks like the 4-hour oscillator wants to curve over and come back down. To kind of see that even more. 1 hour, yeah, we've had bearish divergence here more recently. We do have a nice little breaker block right there, but there's absolutely a chance we come back down here towards 67. So keep an eye on Ondo. That being said, longer term investing-wise, I think that we have bottomed out. I don't expect this to drop back below these wicks here at 65 cents. I'd be surprised at this point, unless, and I'll say this, unless there is something major that happens to Bitcoin. I've said this almost every single time we do a show now, but all this TA I'm doing on altcoins, I hope you guys know I'm going to give you the significant levels to watch for up or down movements, but ultimately Bitcoin will be the biggest deciding factor of which way things go. Even when you look at these recent rallies in some of these altcoins, we've also seen a nice little pump in Bitcoin as well. So even though alts have taken a little bit more dominance away from Bitcoin over the last 7 days, even though we're seeing alts rally faster, we're still seeing Bitcoin being the deciding factor of where crypto as a whole is going. So with that said, as long as Bitcoin doesn't have any terrible news and start plunging in price, which I'm not expecting it to, I do believe the bottom for Ondo is in. Surge Party King Tech said, oh, wow, I just noticed you are almost at 30K subs. Congratulations on the growth. Yeah, we're sitting at the moment less than 500. Don't show my screen here, T-Shroom.
Oh, I'm not.
I don't know if there's going to be sensitive information.
I would never do that.
You do share my screen. It's 29,546. So we're looking at quick math, 454 more slots to be one of the first 30,000 subscribers of the channel. Take one of those spots. Be our guest. It's absolutely free. Just got to hit that button next to Investing Bro's name below the video you're watching right there. Hit subscribe so we get there. 356 in the likes. We got 3 minutes left. T-shirt. I don't think we're going to be doing a trade today. And you know what's funny? The 2 days that the like goal was 500 have been the days that they get to it before the end of the show. The 2 days we put the like goal at 400 are the days that it fails to get there. Maybe we should just default at 500. What do you think?
I think that people need to smash the like button.
Yeah.
It's plain and simple. You got the like button right there. Smash it. B-Ball Golf asked a good question. Maybe we can end on a positive note here. I'm getting some fresh powder in the next day. Do I need to buy Link immediately, or can I wait for a small pullback?
Yeah,
it's good.
We did Link TA earlier in the show. So I would say this: if you do not have enough Chainlink at the moment and you want to add to your bag, it's not the worst idea in the world. If you go back to my chart here, T-Shroom, not the worst idea in the world to look at current levels wherever you get it and to buy at that level. There's also this bullish breaker block and a 4-hour smart trail kind of coming in here back around 1050 or so. I think I said earlier I would not be. There is something I looked at earlier that I remember thinking right back to $11 was intriguing. But what chart would it have been? The hourly chart? Maybe the hourly chart. Yeah, the hourly chart here has a smart trail. So here's what I would almost say. Maybe a little bit here at $11 where the hour smart trail is, and then you'll hold a little on the side for a potential pullback to 1050. That's your second level. That to me looks like a very good opportunity. If you never get that, let's pretend the 1 hour gets bounced off of. You only get your entry point here at $11. We do something like that, and then we move to the upside. Then you're probably looking for another buy in order, because I talked about a move up here and potentially rejecting. It's really on you. If you want to go ahead and deploy it above $12, you can. There's a chance. I do that here, but let me kind of redraw it for a second. There's a chance what you even almost see is something like this and then a bigger pullback. So it really goes down to, are you willing to be patient? And are you willing to buy in much higher if you're wrong about a bigger pullback to the downside? Because what I'd almost say is I think a pullback back down here towards this 1 hour chart, $11, pretty likely. This is a moving average, though, so stay on top of paying attention to the charts. But I almost would make the sense. Oh, there's a sell order coming in, too. So, yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable pullback there. I'd almost make the statement, though, if you can't get back to 1050 or 1070, that area, you might want to wait until getting back above 13, because once you get above 13, then it's probably a pretty good once you get above 1290, really, it's a pretty good understanding that you're not going to have a big pullback again. You're not going to be buying the bottom, but you're going to be buying into a strength movement that will more than likely continue to the upside. Oh, yes, don't forget TA on Moonwell. That's right. Thank you for reminding me, because we had a super chat from Bluff City. It's going to be Well. So let's go ahead and take a look at Well real quick here, T-shirt. What's our likes at? No, we did not get it. It's 4 o'clock. Likes are at 380. Bruh. That's it, guys. No special trade, but we'll take a look at Well.
We'll get them next time.
Yeah, that's okay. You guys can still smash like after 4 o'clock, but let's take a look here at Well. I don't think that was it whatsoever, because I did not type in USD, so it just gave us a stock. Let's see what Bybit. Not a lot of time here. HTX. Is this it? I'm assuming this is it. Someone might have to correct me.
I'll go double check and make sure that's the right one.
Yeah, it is Well over Tether. Is that the? I mean, it's such a small coin. I don't know, but hopefully that's right. Big pullbacks here. Big pullback, just like everything else. We'd fallen from recent highs earlier this year in March. We fell a nice 87%, but still setting in higher lows on the longer time frame. So not necessarily freaking out. That just means opportunity is definitely there. If you're taking a look at here more recent moves, you got a nice falling. Was this a falling wedge? Let's kind of look here. Definitely falling channel right there. And then you can kind of see in here these support levels. Whether it's a channel or a falling wedge, this is a bullish formation. Should be a good move to the upside. What makes it hard is to know where to draw. I don't think we're going to need this. I don't think this is going to actually be something to keep an eye on. But in theory, that's what you would do in textbook falling wedge patterns. If this was a channel, you'd do something along the lines of like this. So, yeah, do with that what you will. Let's see what Luxagu's saying about it. Got an order block right above us, but we hit our daily take profit. You love to see that. Smart trail up here. It's falling, though, so probably going to meet us somewhere in here around 1.6 cents. Oscillator. Buy signal perfectly back here on the 8th, and it's kind of getting another buy signal here over the last little bit. Very overextended for a long, long time. So that is a confident booster right there about the bottom potentially being in. Let's see what lower time frames are kind of saying to us. We broke that smart trail. We got a nice order block right below us with the bullish smart trail. So worst comes to worst, maybe a pullback to 1.1626. Where we see that kind of confluence right there. To the upside, we briefly touched that take profit, but we could definitely get back up there on 1.4, maybe even get back up higher towards this order block and higher take profit at 1.61 cents. So that's what I'm looking at right there. I don't know anything about the fundamentals, T-Shroom. Yeah. I don't know if you found anything really quickly about it.
I did. I would be careful with this one. It doesn't really seem to me, I still haven't really been able to find. So recently they've had a contract migration, right? which isn't, it's not the end of the world, but the fact that you get any kind of alert here from CoinGecko is not great. Let's see if I can find like what it is. I couldn't really find much about that, but if you go over and you run it through GoPlusLabs.io, which is kind of like it's a token security detection. It does have 3 attention items, no risky items, but the proxy contract is a little bit worrying, and then the buy tax and sell tax are unknown. So again, may not be a bad investment, may not be a scam or a rug pull, but to me, I would look elsewhere. Now, I'm not like a gem hunter, so I'm much more conservative.
Bluff City, he commented and he said it's the number 1 in lending on base and did $1 million in revenue. So if that's true, that's an interesting fundamental. And again, the charts, I would say the chart. If I'm not going off the news, if I'm just charting it and trading the charts, I like what I see. That is something to kind of take into consideration here with this investment.
Yeah, and they're followed by a couple of people that I follow, and so they're probably not a scam. That's good.
Okay. Well, hey, we're going to go ahead and wrap up for the show today. VIP members, just so you guys know, traditionally we do lessons on Thursday, but I didn't put together a lesson plan. So tonight we're just going to do a normal Q&A in the Discord. We'll get some suggestions, though, for future lessons. What I mean by that is all of our VIP traders or Pro Bros members, we have weekly Q&A sessions and also trading lessons. It's not just about actively trading. It's about teaching you trading along the way. If you want to be a part of that, check out either Buying Lux Algo, and that gives you access when you sign up with Lux Algo using our link and connect with us in Discord, giving us your email. We can get you into the group, or buying the Pro Bros membership, which I want to make sure people know we're going to release the details here probably in the next couple of days or weeks, but prices for memberships will be going up shortly. However, anyone who is currently signed up at the time of those price increases will be grandfathered in so that they do not have to pay higher prices. You want to be a part of that. So if you're thinking and you've been on the fence about joining memberships, I recommend doing it within the next week or so, because after that, prices will be increasing. If you want to be in our trading group, those are your options. You got to be a Pro Bros member or a Lux Algo holder with our link. That being said, guys, that's all we have for you in today's video. Make sure to smash the like button on your way out and hit subscribe. Be one of the first 30K subscribers on the channel. We'll see you tomorrow. Love ya. Adios.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.